London town, though, the Libertines are back. The new album looks like it's going to be #1 this Friday. I think if you really think about through their history, all the ups and downs that band have had, it's actually quite a beautiful thing. Over the years, I've had so many weird encounters with the Libertines. I was going to see them back in 2002 when I was really, really young. It was really my first experience of Spit and Sawdust gigs, and they were an amazing introduction into that world. And then later on, when I became a journalist at NME, I just did all kinds of mad interviews, usually with Peter. Remember once following him around Paris, literally running and chasing him up the streets because we couldn't pin him down. I interviewed him in a London hotel at about 4 a.m. once. It was mad. We were both locked out, or he was locked out of his own room, so we started the interview in the corridor there. It's just crazy, crazy times. And it's a lovely, lovely thing that the position that the four of them, Pete, Carl, John and Gary, they find themselves in now. It's one of harmony and happiness. I don't really think that we have ever seen the Libertines in that kind of place before. Pete has been clean of heroin and hard drugs for 8 years now, I think. He's doing really, really well. He's got his label, Strap Originals, signing incredible new bands like Real Farmer, who I genuinely think are contenders to break through in breaking world. Carl's turned businessman as well, helming the Albion Rooms, HQ for the band, down in Margate, which is a really great place. It's a hub for new artists down there. And I just love the way that things have turned around for the Libs. So I really hope that this new record on Friday goes to #1. It would be a sweet thing for that band. It's called All Quiet on the Eastern Esplanade. Or is it Esplanade? Coming up after this song, Shiver. Going to get Peter and Carl into the studio to talk all things 2024.
The last dream of every dying soldier. I've seen you there, flowers in your hair. The last dream of every dying lover. I've seen you there, with the flowers in your hair. It's all too much today, the answer's gone away. With a giant courtesan, with the tiny hands that makes me shiver. Dying soldier, I've seen you there, flowers in your hair. The last king of every dying empire. Just let it die, sit back, enjoy the ride. They all queued up to see the old girl's gone away. As the tattered standard hits the ground, another coronation day. Shiver, the Albion name. Shiver, shiver, the Albion name. There we were, frontier, Arcadia. Reasons to stay alive, not to die at 25. I shiver.
Wilkinson.
On Apple Music 1.
It's Peter and Carl from the Libertines, whose new album is out now. Are we saying All Quiet on the Eastern Esplanade or Esplanade?
Well, he says Esplanade, I say
I
Esplanade.
do not. I've never said Esplanade. That's like saying lemonade. I say Esplanade.
Other way around, sorry. I say Esplanade, he says Esplanade.
So what is it?
The two times I say the word, I say Esplanade because that rhymes with one of the lyrics, and Esplanade.
Yeah, potato.
Because it's named after the road that the hotel's on, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the Eastern.
The Eastern Esplanade, yeah. You've been down there? You've been down to the hotel?
Yeah, I've...
Guest of honour.
Is it going well down there, though?
The dream was to have this space that we could all share and call HQ, like we always had with the Albion Rooms in the past, where we'd always lived. We'd call it the Albion Rooms. And so this was to create a space for us to record and a place to keep all our tat. And then it developed into the idea of having a venue as well. The actual hotel side of things, we might be having to pull the plug on.
Really?
Yeah.
I think what my esteemed colleague was angling towards was that we set up this hotel with grand ambitions and a lot of objectives of which we achieved. Now, personally, being very close to it and having to deal with a lot more of the runnings and whatnot, I think we've done there. And I think what we really need is a studio where the artists can stay there. We don't have to shove them down the road.
Residential
and
studio.
we can have events there and people do part of the events.
Right,
and
really?
Artistic, creative stuff.
One of the ambitions that wasn't realised was that we'd be able to make a profit. And so we're finding now that we're doing Liberty installs just to keep the hotel afloat. So...
I mean, it's just the economy of scale. There's only 7 rooms and you can only fit so many people in. So it's to staff that and keep it going.
Yeah. I've seen photos of you manning the phones and stuff there as well.
I've done a bit. I always get the arsiest people as well.
Do you?
Yeah, anyway. But generally speaking, it's a wonderful experience and everyone who comes has a great time and leaves generally on a bit of a high, I think. I mean natural.
Do you read the TripAdvisor reviews?
Yeah, I used to pay.
I don't follow that, but Carl has got his finger on the pulse,
I
yeah.
used to painfully pour over them. No, it's been a great response. So we got globally reviewed. We turned the worst hotel in Kent to the best hotel in Kent.
Yeah.
And now I think it needs to be the artistic space we want it to be because it's very hard for the two to coexist, really.
Because did you do the whole record there? I remember the last time that you came in to talk about the bracket, I think you just got back that day from Jamaica. You came straight here.
No way, really?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that was...
Because you've been writing there for the new record.
Yeah,
that's
we
right.
got together and that's when me and him just really first sat down to try and decide whether we had it in us, another record. So we went to Jamaica. We got a few bits done there, but really the record started in Margate.
I've been to that studio in Jamaica, G-Jam.
Oh, yeah.
It's not really that conducive to knuckling down and writing. It's like an amazing swimming pool, really good view. The food's brilliant. It's like a 10-star hotel, isn't it?
There was a hurricane there when we were there as well, and we were in the studio. I don't know if you saw the studio, it's all glass on the top of the hill.
A small
at the
one?
top. Yeah, so surrounded by glass, and there was a hurricane, so all these tropical birds kept flying into the glass, all confused. And literally, you'd get a dozen an hour. You just hear a...
When I went there was an original Forever Jamie Reid up against the wall. It's the only time I've ever seen an original. It's like number 3 of 50.
I've got one in my house.
Yeah,
Have you?
there's only 150 of them, yeah, and he's got 3 of them.
What else have you amassed over the years? I remember you've got like Joe Strummer's leather jacket.
Oh yeah,
haven't you?
and I've got Jimi Hendrix's coat as well. I don't know why I've got these things. It's bizarre. I'm
Jimi Hendrix's coat. We spoke about this before. I can't remember. How did you get Jimi Hendrix's coat?
Someone convinced me to buy it in an auction. It was going cheap because there was about to be a movie come out and Andre 3000 was playing Jimi Hendrix and it was going to revitalise the Hendrix estate and all of the sort of bric-a-brac and
We also have, this is a bit of an exclusive this for your show, we've also got the bathtub that Jim Morrison died in, which we're going to be putting in one of the rooms. At the
Albion rooms.
Yeah, we don't want to say which one though, in case it becomes some kind of modelling mecca for people who want to shuffle off their mortal
No,
coils.
they want to
How
come and
have
have
you
a
got
bath in
that?
that tub. Or...
How have you got that?
It's quite a long story I can tell if you want. It's a bit complicated. There's a fellow who my wife's cousin knows, and his cousin was basically the landlord, and he's not interested in music, and so he's just been going on about this bathtub which people have been trying to buy off him. He doesn't want to. He thinks it's morbid to make money off it. So I said, well, we'll
Hand it
take it.
over.
We'll take it for the hotel. And so I said it to Carl, and obviously Carl's known me a few years, knows I do have a tendency to exaggerate and lie, but this one is the bang honest truth. And it's actually there, and
And I've been saying now for 2 years. Yeah, let's get it.
Jim Morrison died in like 1971.
Yeah.
How old is this bath?
Well,
the bathtub, standard 1950s Parisian bathtub. You know what I mean?
It's an antique. All right, should we play some music on that note?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is Run Run Run. This is the opening single from All Quiet on the Eastern Esplanade, or Esplanade, however you choose.
It's a lifelong project of a life on the lash. I've forgotten how to care, but I'll remember for cash. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. Light the views, sing the blues, I can die if I want to. Tonight we're gonna bring tomorrow's happiness. Gonna live like it's the end. I love you to death, but I must suggest you'd better run, 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 boy, faster than the past. Through the looking glass, if you want the night to last, you better run, 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 boy, faster than the past. Through the looking glass, if you want stand. He could eat more chicken, any man in the land. Well, I've given up caring for happiness. When this heart gives out, it's when I rest. Run, 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 boy, faster than the past. Through the looking glass. If you want the night to last, you better run, 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 boy, faster than the past. Through the looking glass. If you want the night to last, 'cause tonight we're gonna spend all tomorrow's happiness. We don't break before we burn. And tonight your soul aside, it'll turn out nice again. It's only money in the end. Run, 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 boy, faster than the past. Through the looking glass. If you want the night to last, you better run, 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 boy, faster than the past. Through the looking glass. If you want the night to last, you better run, 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 boy, faster than the past. Through the looking glass. If you want the night to last, you better run.
It's a monster chorus. Is that one of yours?
It is mostly Carl's song, yeah. I'm only saying that because there's no way around it, because they did it as the Dirty Pretty Things as well. So
No, we did the Dirty Pretty Things. It was a demo. It was thinking of going on my solo album. I knew it was a Libertine song from the off, really, and I made sure I left enough space for the boys to, to stretch their legs, muscles. What do you stretch?
Fingernails.
Imaginations. Yeah.
yeah, because before that first chorus, he says, he used to say, but I would confess. And I said, that doesn't work grammatically. It's got to be, but I would suggest. And now, bang, it's a whole new song. Lick a
But this
pig.
is it, isn't it? This is the partnership.
That's
This
where
is
the
what we
magic
want.
happens. That's where the
This is
magic
it.
happens.
I do think, listening to the record, there's something really beautiful about it in terms of you're singing about quite dark things. There's some really serious subjects in these songs, but there's so much laughter and there's such a kind of gang mentality to it, which the Libertines have always had. But it feels like you're in a position now where you're kind of looking forward more than you're looking backwards. And I'm not sure Anthems was like that. Anthems to me felt, Anthems of Doom Youth, this is the last record, kind of felt like the four of you in a room together being like, oh my God, we're in the same room for the first time in ages.
Or seasick. Yeah.
Yeah. And working out, well, can we still do it? How do we do it? Whereas this one just feels like you're in the car and it's moving forward. And
It's funny you say that, because at the end, we had no say over keeping ad-libs in, but at the end of the last songs that never played on the radio, they kept doing this ad-lib. And when I first heard it, it sounded like we were in the garden and like birds were tweeting and stuff. I think we were in the studio, but it almost felt like the bit in Lord of the Rings when Spielberg gives his book there and back again. It felt a bit
yeah.
yeah, it was all right in the end.
songs that never play on the radio as well. I mean, we'll play that later on. That's a beautiful piece of music. And it almost sounds like a nursery rhyme at the end. That minute, I know what you're talking about, the kind of a cappella minute of you all, and you can hear Gary on it and John's on it. And, it's just this kind of very childlike nursery rhyme way to end the album. There's an innocence to it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's what I felt, because we didn't plan for him to keep that in. We probably would have said no.
This is the most ad-libbed libs record of all time, I think. There's so many ad-libs and people shouting and weird little words that you can't quite hear. But that makes it more exciting, doesn't it, from a fan's point of view?
Yeah, just for the energy in the room, for everyone to be engaged. I think one of the best moments is one on that one, the Notion, Run, 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 the Notion. When you've finally done all of the donkey work and you finally pour yourself a glass or whatever you do, and then that all that remains is the hand claps and just everyone get round, and that's such a moment to get to, such an achievement, and to have the energy there was just it just felt really real.
Where did that song begin then? Because that is... there's demos of that song that sound quite different, but the elements are the same from 18, 19 years ago.
Yeah, I think it began in that period when we were falling apart around the time of the second album, where we knew we were falling apart, but we'd still have some mad moments of unity, like we'd be out on the street at 7 a.m. I remember, because I had a nylon string acoustic guitar, the same one. That time I forgot my passport, and my sister let me through customs because this was as valid as any passport. I said, listen, this song...
Did it
went
work?
through. No, I missed the German tour, didn't I? And ended up, half the reason I got kicked out of the band. And Carl had this trumpet, and at the time he was going through this really strong bugle phase where he'd just shout, "Fire in the hotel!" and blow a trumpet in someone's face. He doesn't do it so much now, but so that morning, remember, we wrote it then, and you're blowing that trumpet.
I always equate songs that never play on the radio with Bound Together.
That sort of era where we were
falling apart,
Falling
but still
apart,
the
but
odd, the odd
we'd
great
have these-
song
Yeah.
still kind of tumbling out in the
Bound
really
together.
weird
Very much bound
recording.
together.
Bound
yeah.
together, absolutely gorgeous song. Yeah, you know what? If we'd remembered that, we might have had a crack at that on this album.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
You know, for any proper libhead aficionados out there, one of the verses on Songs in the Plain Radio is brand new, and 'cause that's one thing it did need. We were sort of going around in circles with the "As the Cobwebs Fall," which is an amazing line, very emotive, but there's only so many times you can do the same verse, as well as carrying that weight and all that meaning from all those years ago. It's still got this brand new element to it.
let's play it now. This is how the new album ends. This is the final song on the record. This is Songs They Never Play on the Radio. But I'm going to play it on the radio right now.
No way you can play the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right. Songs I never play on the radio, as the cobwebs fall on the old shipping record. The needle skips a groove, I hate to say it. How I told you so, and I told you so. And I'm coming by in the sweetest by and by to claim the claims I'm owed. Oh, I know I'm owed just about half of nothing at all. Oh, what was that song they played? And what about the pact we made? Oh, you know, you should have stayed. The day you went away.
An old man's head rests on his desk, you know. Since 45s are digitized, his heart's bereft and his left ear's deaf. The songs that they never play on your radio, you can stream them out for free and save your soul. What was that song they played? What about the pact we made? What was that song they played? They all went away.
Yeah, I'm crashing down the boulevard of broken dreams. Men of my class, we live too fast and we can't be asked, and we batten down the hatches. Everywhere I go, old football against the wall, the tires full of the civic code. Songs they never play on your radio, as the cobwebs fall out, needle skips a groove. Songs they never play on the radio, as the cobwebs fall. Big man busts a move. Cobwebs fall out. Your needle skips a groove.
Matt Wilkinson.
On Apple Music 1.
We haven't spoken about you hanging out with my parents yet.
Oh,
at a
yeah.
gig recently, which blew my mind, blew my
That
tiny mind.
It was quite a hangout, wasn't it? There was a lot of
2.5
stories
hours.
about you, a lot of
Couldn't
misty-eyed reminiscing of your
Really?
past.
Yeah. We had a good old natter.
This is when the Libertines played in Falmouth, which is my hometown, and I couldn't make the gig. It was a Sunday night. I had to do the show on Monday. Gutted. And my mum was like, "Can you get me into the gig?" And I'm like, "I'm sure I probably can. You do know it's the Libertines. You do know what they sound like. You do know it's going to be loud. Wear earplugs." And then about 2 days before, they were like, sent me a message being like, "We've been listening to all the albums." It was very sweet. And then I get a text on the night at like 11 p.m. from my mum saying, "Guess where I am?" And I'm like, hopefully tucked up in bed with a hot water bottle. And then a picture comes through and it's
She was
her.
coupling off with one of our roadies.
No, she was not. I was worried.
She was.
I was genuinely worried. No, it's a photo of her on a sofa with you two and Gladys, I think, wasn't it? Your dog. And I was just like, this is like the bizarro world happening here. I should be there. You should be in bed. What's happening?
Oh, they were so proud of you. It was really sweet. They started missing it. When they finished, we were having a cry.
Really?
Yeah.
We met a few. We met another lad who reckoned he went to school with you.
Did
yeah,
you?
Yeah, and the girl who went behind the bar was a friend of one of your cousins or something.
That was like a 6-week tour in total. I know you had a little break in the middle of it. There's small venues tour.
It was
a long old stint.
Should have called it the particularly small venue tour, man. We
Should've
did the Hairy Dog in Derby. Do you know that one?
Yeah, I do.
At Gaffin
Never
Stockton
been there,
and
heard of
Tees.
it.
Yeah, Q-Bar, but the new one.
But that's probably the first tour that you've done like that, you guys anyway, the Libs, probably since 2002.
Yeah.
When Princess Charlotte was still open and serving.
Yeah. Oh my God, the Princess Charlotte.
How is it going on the road for long stints as the Libertines?
Do you know what? If
these
I'd not had
days?
COVID and whooping cough, it would have been a bit more of a picnic, and then not been 17 men, a baby, and 2 dogs on the bus.
Right.
It would have been a bit more of a picnic. But yeah, it was venues with no toilets and stuff like that. It was good to be at the coalface.
It is the coalface, isn't it? that
Yeah, and
stuff?
it's good to be that close to the people you're singing to, and I tell you, because it was the only songs that were really out at the time were Run, Run, Run and Night of the Hunter. So seeing the reaction come back, that right in your face, right around you, it's beautiful. As an artist, you want people always say they write songs for themselves and blah blah blah, and and the art has to come from your own truth and whatnot. But you need it to connect, and when you see that connection, it's just that was the highlight of the tour for
Do
me.
you need
just that
reminding of that sometimes, do you think? Need reminding is kind of horrible because it makes it sound a little bit narcissistic, like I need this
No,
praise.
I do need it. It's not need reminding. I need to see it. I need to feel it. I need to do gigs where there aren't these huge crowd barriers and loads of security stopping
Yeah.
people from having a good time. Most people come on stage, they just throw themselves straight back in and have a mosh. And like Cardiff was just like basically like the Rhythm Factory, but nothing was getting unplugged and things still work. So
But in terms of needing it, it's a bit like, it's not like a sort of, tell me I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
It's more of I'm trying to say something, I'm screaming something really desperate here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if the person goes,
It's human
you're not
interaction.
getting what you
isn't
need.
it? It's human interaction. I was at Ali Pali the other day, and I love Ali Pali as a venue, but I was stood at the back, I was watching The Smile. There's a pizza thing in the side of Ali Pali now, and just
Oh,
the
yeah, I've
amount
seen
of
that.
people walking past with a slice of pizza, while Tom York's like pouring his heart out on stage. It's a weird kind of, this probably shouldn't be happening here. There's a time and place for that stuff. It's probably not at that gig. No offence to anyone who was having a pizza at Ali Pali.
well,
at
no, but
point.
that is offensive to people who are enjoying pizza during the gig. That can be a huge subsect of the market these days, and they've tuned into it,
But there's something beautiful about Spit and Sawdust venues and seeing the whites of people's eyes, isn't there?
Doing the songs we were doing as well, we did Night of the Hunter, Music and the Lights Go Out, obviously. Although actually, Music and the Lights Go Out gets more raucous than some of the fast ones. It's
Yeah.
such a sing-along these days,
Really?
Yeah. Is it cruel or kind not to speak my mind and to lie to you rather than hurt you? Well, I'll confess all of my sins after several large gins, but still I'll hide from you, hide what's inside from you. And alarm bells ring when you say your heart still sings when you're with me. Oh, won't you please forgive me? I no longer hear the music. Oh no. And all the memories of the pubs and the clubs and the drugs and the tubs we shared together will stay with me forever. But all the highs and the lows and the twos and the throws, they left me dizzy. Oh, won't you please forgive me? I no longer hear the music. Oh no. Well, I no longer hear music when the lights go out. Love goes cold and shades of doubt. The strange lights in my mind, it's all too clear. Music when the lights come on. The girl I thought I knew is gone. With her, my heart it disappears. I no longer hear the music. All the memories of the fights and the nights and the blue lights, all the kites we flew together, I thought they'd fly forever. But all the highs and the lows and the twos and the flows, they left me dizzy. Won't you forgive me? I no longer hear the music. Well, I no longer hear the music. I no longer hear the music when the lights
London, this is Matt Wilkinson.
On Apple Music One.
I feel like the singles that have come out from this record prior to it, so Run Run Run, Night of the Hunter, Shiver, Merry Old England, which we premiered on this show as well. To me, when I listened to the record beforehand, I was like, clearly Run 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 is like, that's going to go off live. And all four of those, I can just see them slotting in.
Yeah, in an ideal world. Funny though, Shiver's a weird one to try and do with two electric guitars at full volume because
We're getting there though. We're getting there.
it's quite a delicate song the way it's produced and the way it's so many songs put together. It's difficult just to hammer it out and get it right.
Well, we have to do songs that never put on the radio. That's going to be.
We'll do that acoustic though. isn't
No,
it?
we can't go back to Skipper version.
No, we'll do songs that put on the
Yeah, you
radio
did it
with a
with
piano
Waterloo.
and acoustic.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to play Merry Old England now, which is, we premiered this a couple of weeks ago on the show. Can you tell us a little bit about this song and the meaning of the lyrics in it?
I think it's the first time we've come to write about the world around us, right beyond the sort of world that we've been inhabiting and living in, which is so sort of frenetic and fraught. And it's the first time we've written about things beyond our own escapist sort of fantasies.
Yeah, also it's a conversation that we have on the back of the tour bus quite a lot with everyone because there's a lot of very contrasting views about this issue in our mob. And so there's a lot of back and forth and people lose their tempers. And so it's nice to actually write about it and sing about it and work out what we feel. And we've always agreed on one thing, and that is that England is, and always has been, is a wave after wave of immigration. You know, I mean, people coming over on boats and planes, all of us, it's where we all come from, basically. Unless you can connect yourself back to the ancient Celts. Do you know what I mean?
But the thing that I love about your band is that you understand all this stuff and you understand the history and you're good enough as musicians to articulate it in song as well, in quite an honest way and just straight up way. And you've done it before. It's not like Merry Old England is the first time you've touched on this subject. Which is the lyric about Dolby Square? Is that in
Yeah,
this
the
one?
illegals have landed in Dolby Square.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we looked at a newspaper.
When we were writing the song, we were looking at all those mad headlines from all the years of people moaning about migrants, and one of them was just, the illegals have landed.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it talks about when immigrants finally get here, if it's really the prize they'd expected it to be,
Yeah.
you know, and looking around, and it's saying like the chalk cliffs once white are decaying in the sodium light, you know, and whilst there is a beauty to that decaying post-apocalyptic kind of trashness of a lot of it, and nappies and crisp packets and puddles on the ground and whatnot, you know, it's kind of like, is it really? Is it what you expected? Is it what? Yeah.
Is that social commentary?
It's asking the question. It's such a polarising argument for so many people, and you know there are so many sides to it. I think it'd be remiss to just go and deliver a view or an opinion. I think it's so much more complicated than that. And I think a lot of the problem with voices on the internet, you know, just shouting about everything's so much more nuanced than the shouting, and everyone just pays attention to the shouting. It's like the nuances are lost, and I think that song's about the nuances really.
I think that's a subject where if you go back through both of your histories, you've written about community and race and people getting along historically and in the present quite a bit. You know, there are probably handpicked like a couple of songs from each of your projects, from every single project, that kind of dip into that. I'll Be at Matt Fry is probably a very obvious example from the second Libertines album, where like, you know, this isn't something that you've just delved into now. It's something that I feel like you're quite well educated in, musically speaking, to actually, I'd kind of feel shortchanged actually if we got a Libertines album that didn't feature a couple of songs about this sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it was really important for us to get this one
I
done.
don't know, this might be better than going, get back in your box. You can't talk about this.
I know, you came a long way round. Just had to get to merry old England. Cause packets and pedals on the ground. Welcome to merry old England. Yeah, I know, you've been around. Just had to get to merry old England. I've seen you on the swings and on the merry-go-round. How you finding merry old England? With the chalk cliffs once white, they're grey in the sodium light. Oh, my. Congrats on staying alive. Hope they don't catch you tonight. The illegals have landed in Dolby Square. Did they give you everything that you dreamed of? A B&B and vouchers for 3 square. Is it everything that you dreamed of? Oh, you know they're rushing through Albania. They've got to get to merry old England. Syrians, Iraqis and Ukrainians. Oh, how you finding merry old England? With the chalk cliffs once white, they're greying in the sodium light. Oh, my. finding merry old England. Yeah, I know, you came a long way around. You had to get to merry old England. I see you on the swings and on the merry-go-round. Are you finding merry old England? Oh, with the chalk cliffs once wide, decorating in the sodium light. Good luck and staying alive, or they will punch you to hell. I told you we needed a visa form 41B, 11213, and we had a 411B, 2.3. I said, yeah, where we're at, mate. Your visa, mate. I don't need a ticket, mate. Welcome to merry old England, through the Albion rooms. I know we are.
Matt Wilkinson.
Apple Music.
Queer.
How is it playing fast songs like this and Mayday live now? Do you do them?
Yeah, we did Mayday even for our
we do bang
reunion
them out.
tour.
We do
Yeah,
bang
it was
them out,
fucking hard work. But no, it was great though.
Can I play you this? I wonder if you've ever heard this. This is a new band called Crown Court. Have you heard of them?
Oh yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah,
Have
of
you?
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Skinhead band. Yeah. No, yeah.
Do you know what I'm going to play?
Oh, it's not the version of Hooligans on either supposed to have
Yeah.
done. I haven't heard this.
I've not heard that.
How do you know about this?
Because I know their manager. He was trying to get them on strap.
Way. This is interesting. This is an Oi band who are similar to kind of Chubby and the Gang and the Chisel and all that, covering an unreleased Libertine song. Hooligans and E never really came out, but this is it. So you've not ever heard this?
No.
Oh my God, it's wicked.
It's pretty mad, right?
What can you say? That's mental. I love it.
love
I
it.
love that line. I know your boat. You're in the gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd have been a better line, actually.
Oh, that's the energy, isn't it?
There's something really exciting about, a band like that. It's an oi band. Like you said, they look exactly like they sound. There's so much kind of DNA in that world. And then to cover a Libertine song, and it's not Can't Stand Me Now, Don't Look Back Into the Sun, or Time for Heroes, or something like that. It's like deep cut Libertines.
Yeah, but they've done it in a way that's totally their own. That's the song out of our entire catalogue that I can only imagine. It's almost like it's written for them. I think I wish more bands would do songs that I thought might be written for them. That'd be great.
That's Crown Court, that band, with a cover of Hooligans on E, which I looked on Apple Music, isn't available anymore. I think it came out on an Observer CD, free with an interview once.
I think Kill City did a
They did.
version of it.
They did.
I don't know if that came out.
With
But the
Welsh
singer of that
Pete.
band, Crown Court, is a really interesting fella, actually. He's part of the LA skinhead thing as well. But his girlfriend plays bass in Local Authority. He supported us in Glasgow.
How have you found being out on the road, and particularly with you and your label, Strap Originals, signing a lot of really good, young, brand new emerging breaking bands? How have you found kind of seeing the support acts that you've had recently and what's going on now?
It's been like a big part in what drives me and what gets me out there, really, to be honest, a lot of the time. Obviously, we're doing a lot of gigs this year, but I can really see myself putting more time into the label, promoting and putting tours together for these young. We've had some amazing support bands. That Local Authority Glaswegian band, but some of the French bands we had, there was one that had a terrible name, but they were great. Something Chic, Fabulous Chic.
Do you have Lambrini Girls as well?
Yeah, they
no,
play for
that's
this,
that's the best. That's one of the best support bands we have had.
They're amazing.
Fat Dog, they were good.
Yeah.
All these young bands, they're not so much like carrying on the torch, picking up the flag. Like they spend half the gig in the crowd. These bands, they're amazing. They're
But then you would have done
fearless.
that. You would have done that at their age as well.
We never, but our guitar leads never used to be long enough.
Yeah.
You could only get so far. They're like wandering in the crowd.
They do after gig in the crowd. And I think right now it's such an interesting time. Like, we've got a live venue as well. Justine's in Margate, with the record label and the live venue, and seeing the bands and the circuits and getting a bit more involved in that. There's so much out there that really needs a voice and a platform,
yeah, there really is.
both live and otherwise. And if you just join the Music Venue Trust as well, if you're trying to do Justine's like on our own, if you didn't realise that there are thousands of venues all over the nation, all struggling, and that is the only platform that exists for these bands, these Lambrini Girls. Yeah, but there are so many of them come through, and then we have like Soft Play, and that was amazing, doing their record at the Albion Rooms.
Did you?
Yeah, they just did their new
I
one.
like
there.
those guys.
Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're well behind Soft Play.
Should we play Man with a Melody to wrap it up? Did John write this song and then you rescued it?
No, this song, this song is very close in melody
And chords.
to a song that John had called "The Man with the Melody."
No, it's called Annabelle Lee.
It's called Annabelle Lee.
Yeah,
The lyrics,
it's a gothic horror song, an Edgar Allan Poe thing. No monsters up above and no demons in the sea.
It'll ever separate
my heart from Annabelle Lee. She's the one for Annabelle Lee
in its fashionable times. So
Yeah.
it got chopped and changed and chiseled and chaved, but it's got the soul of the original.
I think
John's got 50% of the
I
songwriting
think
credit.
we just all bonded on
got-
and said we want a part of this.
We were always really jealous of me and Carl because he used to play this amazing song when it was just us sat round. He was like, "What about using it with the band?" And we're like, "No, absolutely not," because we were just so
I can see that.
just so jealess of it in
You
a
see
way.
that with his like Beatley haircut and his chiseled
He was
chin.
handsome, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Still is.
yeah.
He still looks like 17 years old as well, John. He hasn't aged at all.
He
It's
can look,
crazy.
He can look 17 or 70.
Can he?
No.
Oh, we got to wrap it
No,
up.
John.
But the new album, All Quiet on the Eastern Esplanade/Esplanade,
Esplanade.
is out on Apple Music right now. And this is Man with a Melody. This is the Libertines completely united. All four members singing a verse on this, even Gary.
Even Gary.
Matt Wilkinson.
On Apple Music One.
It twists me up inside, so cruel and unkind. I mean, you must be joking, man, you're stealing my lines. But I better go with my demons in tow. They won't come easy, but it's on with the show. No, you can't catch me, 'cause I've got the melody. I navigate the rush and I split the heavens boom. My heart's in every single word. scroll in the gloom. I never shed a tear. I proceeded my prayers. Await the black dogs leaving when the sunlight appears. No, you can't catch me, 'cause I got the melody. You can't catch me, no, no, you can't catch me, 'cause I got the melody. No angel up above and no demon in the sea could ever separate me from the things that I need. And I'll never fall for these lies that you weave. I don't need your crumbs, man. I will never retreat. But you can't catch me, 'cause I've got the melody. No, you won't catch me. No, no, you won't catch me, 'cause I've got the melody. I've got the melody.
Live from London, it's Matt Wilkinson.
This is Apple Music.
What's happening, Ingies? Yeah, mate, you alright? Yeah, mate, just wanted to know where the tube station is. What do you mean?